So what is the ToK Mindset? Welcome to ToK Today. My name's Daniel and I'm sailing with you on today's ToK journey. So we've all been in this situation. Well, certainly I have. It's a hot Thursday afternoon, the last period of the day, and you've got DP1 ToK in a very warm and stuffy classroom. The students are tired from a week of DP study. They're just adjusting to being in the DP. You're tired from a week of teaching, an excessive teaching load. They're struggling, you're struggling. You're all trying your best though. And most of the students are a bit fidgety and a bit distracted. But sat right at the front, there might be a group of 3 students and they're seriously on task. They're really getting into what they're meant to be doing. And they're discussing knowledge issues and knowledge problems and knowledge questions and ToK concepts. And they're sort of mashing together all of the content and the ToK. They keep asking you for help and calling you over to give them some more advice on the task. They're really into it all. They've even asked you to explain the finer points of Kantian transcendental existentialism. Well, I don't know if you've been there, but I certainly have. Those 3 students at the front, they've developed the ToK mindset. Our challenge as ToK students is to get all of the students in the group to develop the ToK mindset. Well, we don't need them to become neo-Kantians, but we do need them to be able to apply a rather abstract framework, a rather conceptual framework, to their lived real world and to understand the knowledge construction problems that flow from that lived real world inside that abstract framework. Now, this is the 3rd vlog in this series. The first vlog was on how knowledge issues are still important in ToK. And the second vlog was an easy lesson starter activity on how you can link together knowledge issues and ToK concepts. So if you haven't seen those, you might want to jump back. I'll try to put cards somewhere above that you can go back and you can see those vlogs. It will help you to contextualize this vlog. The ToK mindset is the ability to apply the ToK framework in the world that we experience. And it's the ability to apply that every day in a really fluent and capable way. So how do we create the ToK mindset? Well, I think that we have to have a look at what it is that those 3 students sat at the front are actually doing to be able to apply the ToK mindset in that fluent way. For me, it comes down to 4 key things. So the first thing is making the familiar unfamiliar. Okay, so it's recognizing that this world around us is not a given, that our experience is not a given, but that we have constructed that. I do this simply by asking my students to question the question, to always question any question, and to operationalize and define the terms that are there in that question. It was Simon Sinek who first coined the phrase, asking the why, not the what. And that's questioning the question. We can repurpose asking the why, not the what for ToK, which is questioning the question, the first rule of ToK. The second factor is an understanding of 3 key concepts: perspective, context, and extrapolation. These 3 concepts together allow students to reify this a lived experience world. It allows them to move beyond their own experience and to put it inside an ideal model. And that's absolutely key for ToK. That's the hard thing, is to move beyond your own personalized experience, the world of the knower, and to place that into the knowledge world. So I sort of often talk about the real world and the ToK world. These are not ideal terms, I know, as we want the real world to be the ToK world and vice versa, but it's a simplified way of understanding what ToK is asking us to do, or asking the students to do. The third thing is to ask the students to keep coming back to the blurs mnemonic, okay? If they keep going through the B, the L, the U, the R and the S, and whenever they come across content or come across knowledge, they apply the B, the L, the U and the R and the S, then they're quickly going to develop that sort of critical framework which allows them to move from the real world to the ToK world and allows them to see the constraints and limitations on knowledge construction. Remember, that's the key aim here, understanding the constraints and the limitations on knowledge construction. The fourth and final thing is to build an understanding that knowledge is constructed. Now, I know that seems self-evident, and that's the whole point of the course, and it seems really obvious. And students can often say back to us that knowledge is constructed, and they can sort of put together the right sentences on that. And it seems like they've got that idea, but then I often find that they don't really understand the depth and the complexity of that idea. For example, when we come to looking at things in history, they'll come back to me and say things like, yeah, but what really happened? You know, what's the truth of what happened? And I'll say, well, but all knowledge is constructed, remember? So there are as many what really happened as there are constructions of what really happened. Or we'll be looking at something in natural sciences and they'll say, yeah, and that's a scientific fact. And I'll say, well, yeah, to the degree that we define a fact, because remember, facts are constructed. And I realise that in the back there somewhere, there's still a belief that there is a reality and we have just constructed things around it. Now we're getting into big Kantian ground here, which we don't want to do. But that sort of developing that deep understanding of the ideas around knowledge construction is clearly crucial for developing the ToK mindset. Okay, moving on quickly. So we've got these four things, which I think those four things together combined, they make the ToK mindset. So in the next video, I'll look at the underlying framework for teaching this ToK mindset. How is it that those three students sat at the front have developed this, but other students in the classroom haven't developed it? And what can we do in how we teach to help them to develop it? There's an underlying framework there, which I think is crucial for the successful ToK teacher to understand. It's not just as easy as coming up with some good content and giving it to them and expecting them through a process of osmosis, trying to understand that content. You know, I get a good article from Science magazine and give it to the students and say, identify the ToK. It's not as easy as that. I think there's an underlying framework which helps them to develop the four sort of skill or understanding domains that I've outlined here. And I'll get to that in the next video. And I hope to see you there in the next video. If you found this useful, it would be great if you gave me a like, and I would be super happy if you would subscribe to the channel so I can give you more content like this. In the meantime, I'll bid you a great day, stay ToKtastic, and see you on the next one. Bye.